Bruce, you can't be in the shop. We're supposed to be in jail. Up it's gone. Uppy puppy. Good boy. Well, you didn't do uppy puppy. There's the uppy puppies. There's the uppy puppies. Nothing. What's up, guys? Chris from Eagle Ridge, and today I figured I would show you as best I can how we used to make extra food when I was incarcerated. So you got several components to this, and it's just a interesting thing. It's called a swole. Of course, you got your soup, which you can get on commissary. You can trade items for. You got corn, which we didn't have Ziploc bags, but you got your corn that you saved from maybe lunch or dinner the day before. A couple of Slim Jims, which again could be on commissary. Pack of peanut butter crackers, commissary. Fritos, commissary. I don't have the individual packets, but what we would do is save them from lunch. The mayonnaise or the mustard packet. So I've got some mayonnaise here, which Duke's is the only actual mayonnaise. That's why it says Duke's real mayonnaise. Got a little bit of mustard. Some guys, I probably won't, but some guys would use, if they can get hot sauce through commissary or somebody send it to them. I'm not going to use it personally, but you know, it's definitely an option. I don't have a thing to recreate the Tupperware that we had. It was round and a couple bucks. So this is just a little 4-cup random Tupperware thing I found, and regular crinkle cut potato chips. Now these are all things, the exception being the condiments and the corn. Everything else could be bought on commissary if you had money, or could trade items for, or whatever. So I'm doing this as close as I can to what we did. So anyway, I'm also trying out the ring light. This is the first video, with the exception of the video introducing the ring light. This is the first video to actually use the ring light. So may chop this up and throw it over on TikTok. By the way, check us out on TikTok, Eagle Ridge Homestead. I do have facebook.com Eagle Ridge Homestead. There's a page there. I've got to hack back into it and keep up with it. But all right, so let's reposition and show you kind of what we did, because the food wasn't terrible. The portions were, Bruce eats more than I did for 101 days. So any of this stuff was done because by 9 o'clock at night you're starving, or you know, maybe it was something that day you didn't feel like eating or whatever. So this is kind of how you supplemented your dietary needs. Never thought I'd be making a video like this. Yeah. All right, let's reset, and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so I'm actually gonna, and yeah, I'm in my jammies, I'm in my flannies. I'm cold, but I'm also comfortable. After wearing an orange jumpsuit for that long, you really don't care. So I'm gonna take the overshirt off. What you would do is take, trying to think of, trying to reset my mind. Yeah, so you get a soup. You'd buy it on commissary, or you'd trade. Hey dude, I'll give you my lunch tray for a soup. I'll give you, you know, my orange juice. I'll give you whatever. Nothing like that. Don't be dirty. This is a family channel. So what you do, because obviously this is a brick of ramen. We didn't have a whole lot of ways of doing things. So you'd sling it on the floor. And break it up. Believe me, you'd hear that noise almost 24 hours a day. Somebody somewhere in the block was always just constantly making freaking ramen. So you will see that breaks it up pretty good. Take this. Lessons learned. Take the flavor packet out. Put the ramen in there. If you got big chunks, just go ahead and break those up. Got other big chunks, just go ahead and break those up. I actually got to where I didn't have a lot of money by any means. The very, very few people that helped me, my money went to the phones. But I got to where I would treat these like potato chips. So we're gonna sweep that in there. Believe me, after how you have to do things in jail, I'm not that concerned about germs. But you do want to break that up a little bit. Break that up. Alright, so for me, and this is the way I don't want any of this to come off as racist. This is the way a Mexican guy would show me how to do it. So you go ahead and put your flavor packet in. Okay. Do that the best you can. Throw that away. And I have very much the ability at the moment to get boiling water, hot water, whatever. But I'm trying to make this true to life. So we would turn our faucet on. Granted, there was no lever. You had to keep hitting the freaking button or grab a spork and like wedge it in there to keep it on. We would turn the water on. I'm getting closer so you can hear me. And wait till it got hot. And I don't have to wait that long here. There was one block I was in that basically turn it on, go have a shower, go read a book, go exercise, do whatever you need to do, and then the water might be hot. Okay, so this, the water heater is set to like 165. So I'm gonna back that off. Or you could go up to the shower. The shower was always like scalding. One guy said, man, that shower's so hot it gonna burn AIDS off of you. You can always go up to the shower and get hot water. But I'm just gonna make it a dribble here. Go a little bit harder than that. Put some water in there. All right, take that, mix up the flavoring, and then because you got a spork with your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Well, breakfast and dinner at least. Usually lunch was cold bologna sandwiches, unless you were in the other county I was in, that dinner was literally 2 bologna sandwiches in a paper sack. So you save your sporks. Alright, we're going to let that sit because that's going to take a minute because it's not super hot, boiling, whatever. Take this. Some of the guys would actually leave the brick intact and just pour water into it, and that's called a brick. And I'm not really making what's called a swole at the moment. That's where the other thing you could get on commissary was tortillas, and you'd make your ramen with cold water, wrap it up while it's still soaking in the tortilla, and make a swole. It was just something to pass the time, to supplement it and everything else. I'll be honest with you, some of the food that I ate while I was incarcerated was incredible. And so if this video pops and people like it, I'll go back and try to remember a lot of them and try to get the things to make more videos on. But by no means am I like the end all be all, because I know there were people that I only had 101 days. I am not one of these guys that was in for like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever. And I was not in a state penitentiary to where there's a whole other set of rules and cooking and this, that, and the other. But we're gonna let this sit for a few minutes. Usually it took a lot, because I think the directions on the package let it sit for, I really gotta find my glasses. Yeah, with boiling water, you let it sit for 3 minutes. With cold water, yeah, or lukewarm that we could get, you do this and you walk away and just, you start it at about lunch and hope that you have something to eat with your dinner. So, all right, we're gonna let this sit over to the side, and then I'll show you how all these things come together for the amalgamation that is, well, I guess I could use a tortilla and make a swirl. All right, let's do that. All right, so while that's, we took the noodles, put those aside. What we would do is wrap them, or if you had occasionally in a commissary, you get a plastic bag with a zipper on it, or well, like a Ziploc. Trademark, hi, Eagle Ridge Homestead, if you want to sponsor us. You put that in there to hold the heat if you had any, and just set it aside. So, with all the other ingredients here, I use ingredients very loosely. So on commissary, you can get these little bags of Fritos, or my favorite was the jalapeno poppers, which is basically like a cheese curl, like a puff thing that had a little bit of spice to it. Man, I would take mayonnaise and loaf bread off of my lunch tray, save it, and just put the mayonnaise on the bread, and put the cheese curls on there, and that was a fantastic sandwich, especially if you had somebody that had beef jerky or the Slim Jims or whatever. Hey, that might be the next video, I don't know. But all right, so what you would do, you don't have to throw these on the floor, just kind of take them, open it up just barely. You don't want to lose anything, because remember, you're not really getting anything while you're there. You don't want to lose anything. And this is just for an individual, or maybe your cellmate. You had enough you could sort of split it up, but this was largely, for me, an individual meal. Take that, crunch that up. That's all nice, and you can see I've pushed all the air out. It's oh wow, a couple of them didn't. There we go. I don't know how well you're gonna see that or not, but it's crunched up pretty good. Same thing with the peanut butter crackers. You just want to take them and start breaking them down, and then if you can do this with a small pack of peanut butter crackers, it's good. It's good to go. The Slim Jims. So you had a couple options with these. You could just just bite them and gnaw them and throw them out, or what, but I'm gonna take these out, and this counter, whether you believe me or not, is way cleaner than what we had to work with. So you take the Slim Jims out, throw those away. Don't need those. Obviously there's no knives provided by the state, so you take a spork and just kind of make some lines in it, and you come back to that, make some lines in this one, and just sit here and break it apart. So what you're doing is like a little twist. Again, if you know that it's just for you, you can bite a piece off, but I'm trying to be clean and whatever on this one. So set that aside. Don't need to do anything with the corn. like I said, we didn't have Ziploc bags. So I would take mine and put it into a styrofoam cup that came with lunch or whatever. And that's how I kept mine, you know, kind of ready to go. So now we're actually at a point that we're just waiting on the ramen, the soup, the sopa, and we'll go from there. That you'd consider it fairly al dente, to where like some chunks are still sticking together. It still has not crunch, but it's still got some chew to it, which is what I preferred. So you would either drain off your broth into a cup or drink it. I'm not going to do either at the moment because I feel like that's just not very classy. And yeah, I lost a little bit just now doing that, but believe me, there was one night I went to the shower to get some hot water, put my hot water in my noodles and came out of it. Well, I didn't realize that some water hit the floor and I slipped and basically threw noodles everywhere. So that's, and there's 100 channels out there, if there's a dozen, of people that spent a lot more time than I did. We didn't have paper towels, so you do that. All right, so what we're gonna do, take your Slim Jim, take your corn. I'm not gonna use all of this, I'm just gonna use some corn like that. Set that to the side. Excuse me. Take your Fritos, pour that in there. Sometimes, if you, especially if you were sharing, you'd save the bag because then you can make split it up. Put that over there. Excuse me. The crackers add almost like a little pad thai taste to it. So we're gonna throw that in there. And then, so you're gonna kind of stir that, mix that around, pull that off of there again, wipe our spork. Like I said, I don't have any packets, but that's about what was in a packet. Throw a little bit of mayonnaise to it, set that to the side. Mix this around. Try to evenly distribute. With the packets, you can kind of layer, you know, or do like a zigzag on it. Okay. There you go. I guess what I need to do is make a video about how to make pruno, and only certain people know what pruno is. But I don't drink anymore. So a little bit of luxury. We don't want that mustard. So that's about a packet's worth. Basically what it was anything to have flavor. I mean, my goodness, the trays that would come, you didn't have much of anything. No salt, no pepper. My particular place of incarceration, we didn't have coffee. We had no caffeine, except you could order Sundrop. When there's a video somewhere, I think Striving for the Simple Life, from almost 3 years ago now, about Sundrop. It's kind of it's national, but it's a local delicacy. All right, so little pieces like that, you just put back in there. So we got that mixed well. So if somebody had some chips or tortilla chips or whatever, you'd try to barter for a handful of them. So I'm gonna take about, what is it, 4 large chips. Crumble that over the top. You don't mix that in. Set that to the side. I was sitting here thinking about it. I do have a couple tortillas Basically, you would do this with the exception of the chips. Put that in there, and then layer the chips on top and roll it up to make like a really weird burrito. If you didn't have the tortillas, you actually could use the ramen. So I saw some guys that would basically kind of start their ramen, and then if you can get cellophane or a plastic bag or a chip bag or something, put it in there and roll it up into the shape of a burrito, and that's a burrito. But so yeah, all right, let's try this. That tastes like bad decisions. That's so spot on. It's not terrible. Again, after so many days of eating what the state provides, this is a welcome distraction. Yeah, that's it's not even lukewarm. I want you to get that image in your head. It's not even lukewarm. It's bordering cold. Excuse me. So you'd have this with your water, little flavor pack. It's not, I don't encourage you to commit crimes. I encourage you to try these at home. It's not terrible. It could be a lot better. But anyway, so that is how you do some jailhouse ramen, a swole, whatever you want to call it. You guys don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you share it with your friends. You know, share it around the community. Trying to build the channel back up. Trying to really just build the channel. Period. So this is an idea, and if you guys like it, by all means, let me know. I know I have a lot of followers that are going to be surprised to learn, but if you've been watching, you might know some things. And I plan to go live sometime this week. Probably going to be like Wednesday night, somewhere around there. I'm thinking, but again, you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for the notifications. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. You can leave me a dislike, but you got to tell me why. All right, so I'm gonna go eat this because I am actually hungry, and I've already made the food, and the whole thing cost about, in jail money, about $3. In real money, probably about $1.75 at best. So you guys have a fantastic day, and remember, God's with us, God's good, and it's gonna be a good day. I wasn't kidding. I'm gonna eat this. It's not bad.